Here's the deal. If you are not working but want to start a business, don't let money stop you. Bills Microcredit says you just need a Ghana card and you can get a loan to turn your ideas into reality. If you're also already running a business, you need more capital to spice and spruce your business. Well, if you're a salaried worker looking for extra funds, Bills offers you fast and easy loans with no collateral, no deposit, or no susu savings that are required of you. Wherever you are, whatever you need, Bills makes it happen. Call Bills Microcredit today on 059-692-0833 and 059-692-0833 or 0302-200-390 0302-200-390 and get started. Terms and conditions apply. Only at Bills Microcredit. This June also, we're asking you to step into the world of motherhood. Love and care come together here. Imagine a haven where all your baby care needs are met under one roof, discounted finer and in a large quantity. Well, you heard me right. As a 3FM Baby Fair, it's back with a big bang. Your ultimate destination for all things childcare and comfort. Join us on Marina Mall from the 13th to the 15th of June 2025. Only a few days away. Guess what you enjoy? You enjoy exclusive discounts on the cutest clothes, toys, learning materials, confectionaries, and wide range of items for moms, dads, and the children as well. You get expert advice from childcare experts. Lots of games, giveaways, and excitement. Live entertainment to keep the children geared up. Unforgettable memories with your mini-me's. So save the date and don't miss out on the ultimate baby bash of the year. Hashtag 3FM Baby Fair, inspired by 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. Also this June, we're turning the heat up. Trust me, this is not one for the faint-hearted. If you're a faint-hearted person, go and take a back seat. Yeah. Because we're calling out to all cyclists and enthusiasts of the environment, those who love the environment dearly. We're turning up the heat and we want you to be part of it. What we're doing is themed pedaling for the planet from Accra all the way to Aplau. That's about 192 kilometers. Massive test of speed, stamina, and pure excitement. It's happening on Saturday, the 21st of June 2025. If you're a solo rider or part of a team, this is your chance to be part of Ghana's biggest cycling event. We're inviting you what we call 3FM Tour du Ghana. Yeah. 3FM Tour du Ghana. Umpe ana. Ube riding bicycle ana. Yaya Krado ana. Yeah. You wanna ride? You should ride. Join us and pick up your phone right now. Call 053-1100-927. That's 053-1100-927 or 053-2200-927 to register or make inquiries. Sponsored by Malta Guinness, Frutelli, and Coa Naturals. Thank you, Malta Guinness. Thank you, Frutelli, and thank you, Coa Naturals. 3FM Tour du Ghana. I be say you go for right. I can't ride back with you. Yeah. 21st of June, circle that date.
3FM Sunrise.
Yesterday in Parliament, the parliamentarians, they passed a new tax on fuel products, right? So we'll get into that conversation right about now.
3FM Sunrise.
The finance minister went to Parliament yesterday. He went to Parliament under a certificate of urgency with a bill titled the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill 2025. And here's the memo he took to Parliament. He says the object of the bill is to amend the Energy Sector Levies Act 2025, Act 1135, to increase the rate of energy sector shortfalls and debt repayment levy in order to raise additional revenue to support the payment of energy sector shortfalls, reduce energy sector legacy debt, and stabilize power supply. The power sector is the biggest economic and fiscal risk presently faced by the country. This could lead to major crisis if it's not addressed. The challenges in the energy sector are quite enormous, emanating from debt, shortfalls, insufficient gas supply, and inefficiencies. The total energy sector debt as at end of March 2025 stands at 3.1 billion United States dollars. The debt includes money owed to independent power producers, state-owned enterprises, and fuel suppliers. Due to non-payment of bills owed to ENI and Car Power, the World Bank International Development Association guarantee of 512 million United States dollars and the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation guarantee of 120 million United States dollars were completely drawn down. As a result of this, the government is required to find an additional amount of 632 million United States dollars to restore three guarantees. In addition to the above, a minimum of 3.7 billion United States dollars is also needed to clean up the overall energy sector indebtedness. Furthermore, the electricity sector of the country has experienced a significant shift over the years, with the country now heavily reliant on thermal power generation to supplement hydroelectric sources. The cost of liquid fuel to power the thermal power generation plants is not included in the current electricity tariff buildup, resulting in a significant revenue shortfall for the procurement of liquid fuel. According to the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, an inclusion of the cost of liquid fuel in the price build will lead to an increase in electricity tariffs by over 50%. Government considers that this increment will have a higher negative impact on industry and household incomes. Government will therefore require 1.2 billion United States dollars in 2025 to procure liquid fuel for power generation alone. The power sector risks imminent collapse if these unsustainable shortfalls are not resolved, particularly given that the fiscal cannot accommodate the financial needs of the sector. To help raise additional revenue, the fund needs in the power sector, government is proposing an increase in the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy. The impact will be absorbed by the gains made from the strong performance of the city. With this increment, there will be no increase in the ex-pump price of petrol and diesel in the next pricing window beginning today if the levy is increased. The levy will serve as a dedicated source of funding to the energy sector, and the proceeds will be earmarked for the procurement of liquid fuel for power generation, given that the current electricity tariff paid by consumers does not include the cost of fuel used for power generation. The decision to increase the levy on petroleum prices is based on the need to find a balance between ensuring stable power supply while promoting the financial sustainability of the sector. The bill that seeks to amend the schedule to Act 1135 to increase the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy to augment the energy sector support account and ensure the availability of fuel for backup generation, dated the 2nd of June 2025, signed by Dr. Kaisel Atuforsin, is a member of parliament and the minister responsible for finance. This is the memo that Mr. Atuforsin, or Dr. Atuforsin, took to Parliament. Now, let's get into it. I've asked questions about whether or not stakeholder engagement was done and what the way forward should be. Julius Jima is a tax expert. He joins us on the phone line. Thank you, Julius. We're grateful for your time.
Thank you. Good morning, Johnny.
Does Ghana need this new tax at this time?
The big one. I think looking at the bill and how our 2025 budget have gone, I think that we need this type of tax. But the timing, probably we were expecting a little bit, maybe probably by the end of the year or maybe next fiscal year when it comes to the introduction of any taxes. But I think that in terms of the quantum sum of money that we need as a country, I would say yes. the timing probably is too early, but we have to bear with government.
Now, in bearing with governments, the people of the Republic of Ghana are now drawing parallels. For example, they say for e-levy, we were paying this much. Now, if we have to pay 1 cedi on every liter of fuel, that's a tad too much. Is the government not drawing water out of stone, the stone being the citizens, and government trying to draw water out of the stone? Is that what government is doing?
That is not the case. I think that if I have followed the current finance minister right from his vetting, and then I've also looked at the manifesto of the NDC, and then fast forward when the minister was approved. I mean, his body language and the things that he wants to do for the country is to at least reduce the cost of living for Ghanaians, be it as it may. Just because sometimes we do politicize some of the discussions around the economy. So he will be facing some backlashes here and there. And he understands that he knows. I know that this is not a comfortable position for him to come quickly after he's been praised for the cedi appreciation for just half of the year. And then just that things Ghanaians are really becoming more comfortable. There's a discussion, a conversation of tax, and this is coming as a certificate of urgency. So that in itself would mean that the finance minister will not be so comfortable, try to even lay this bill in parliament and then get a president to just approve it within the shortest possible time. I know that it wouldn't be a comfortable situation for him now. But John, if we look at our energy sector in its entirety, it's something that we need to really look at. We've been having the conversations around it, and we haven't been able to address it fully because it is more financial in nature. We need money to be able to pay our RPPs, and that is a simple reason. Yes, people would bring the political arguments and debates around it because when the finance minister was in opposition, they were criticizing the levy and all that. So a minority would definitely come at you. That one, he can't take it away from them. But that is the beauty of our democracy. We act as a check and balance on ourselves. We need to hasten slowly. We need to understand the conversations on the economy. Now he's in the hot seat. He's in the hot chair. So he sees things differently, perhaps, and with a bit of hindsight. And that's what I'm saying, that we can only bear with him so that the things that, the problems and the challenges that we expect government to solve for us, that is what we are looking for in its entirety. At the end of the day, we want to keep our power and our light on. We don't want to have any issues with Doomso. Ghanaians, we are not happy about Doomso. We don't want to go through Doomso. So if there's any form of financial engineering for the shortest possible time so that we can meet our debt obligation, I think that is a step in the right direction. The timing, however, is too early, so Ghanaians will talk about it.
Now, in terms of stakeholder engagement, there's also been the argument that, look, this may have followed the path of e-levy if you look at the fact that it was brought under a certificate of urgency. That's one leg. The second leg is also that, yes, it was brought under a certificate of urgency, but stakeholder engagement could have been done. If you look at e-levy, 16 town hall meetings were promised after the pushback in Parliament. This was after the bill had been put before the people. 6 town hall meetings were held. The other 10 were ignored. The government at the time rushed back into Parliament to pass the e-levy, and we all know how it ended. Is the NDC government under John Mahama following the same path that Nana Akufo-Addo treaded and failed?
Johnny, I respectfully disagree. The issue is that this is not a new tax. The energy sector levy is a tax that has existed since 2015, and it has gone through various amendments. So what the minister is doing is to amend the law. If it is coming as a new tax type, I would agree that we need the stakeholder consultations and engagements and all that. But the tax is an existing tax. It's already there. We check the Energy Sector Levy Act, and then the object, the scope of it, addressing core issues in terms of debt, looking at, even our forex, price stability. These are the things the energy sector is there for, to be able to augment the payment of, any debt exposure we are facing in our power sector. So, yes, it it's just not a new tax for us that we have to go through all the gestation period and try to get people rally around it. That would have been fine if there's time for the minister to do that. But the simple reason is that is it a new tax that we have to go through all these processes, and that will mean it will come with extra cost. So sometimes we spend too much money in trying to even introduce the tax. At the end of the day, the contributions that we are getting from, part of it will go to settle all those, costs that we spent in trying to introduce the tax. So if it is coming as a new tax, I will agree that we would have needed this stakeholder engagement and consultation. But the simple reason is that it's a tax that is already existing. Probably I would have expected in the mid-year budget where Parliament will have time to look at it and then probably comment on even the rate. The one city, if it is too much, we can have a reduction to maybe 50 pesos to the existing one that is there, at least to be able to support the contributions that will come in. But the simple name is under certificate of urgency. So it means that it is not a normal thing. I mean, something is pressing that we need to respond to. That is why the minister introduced it as a certificate of what? Agency or emergency situation, all that. So let's try to understand the direction of the minister. I don't think that the minister would want to put any extra burden on Ghanaians if the need is not there. But there is a need. There is a big problem we need to discuss. I mean, if you look at the fiscal debt, the cost on the country, be it as it may, currently we are looking at about $3.1 billion in terms of our energy sector. At the time of the budget presentation, it was $1.73 billion. ECD is owing about 68 billion Ghana cedis. We've not really had a proper discussion of how we are going to take care of all these debt. So I'm not looking too much about the form because there is an existing tax. But maybe the minister would want to, or Ghanaians are expecting the minister to consult further. Probably they've done the internal consultation within the ministry and government. I mean, that's why we voted them for. It's not everything that we will have to come to the general public and explain ourselves and all that, because it is an existing tax. If it's a new tax, we will need a public engagement. But sometimes we do certain things under the certificate of urgency to be able to push certain things through so that we can get the liquidity to power our energy sector.
Now, the conversation also is that this tax is going to help us clear the legacy debt or the energy sector debt that we have. The Ghanaian people are asking that they've been paying this debt for donkey years. Nobody's telling them how much is really owed, but we continue paying. We don't know when we are going to finish paying. Some figures have been thrown around regarding the fact that the build-up in our electricity tariff and the fuel that is used to generate electricity and all of that is not inculcated into that. But ultimately, the people are asking, when will we finish paying this legacy debt, energy sector debt, so that we can all breathe? The poor must breathe, no?
Yes, that is a big one. I think that the energy ministry, the current energy minister, should lead this discussion. Until when? Cannot be continuing incurring costs in our energy space. We have had discussions on this take or pay contract that has been there for some time. Previous government did some review and then, reduced the amount. I know current minister and the finance minister is looking at, extra review of the take or pay contract, because once that is there, it means that we are incurring the expenses or the cost in advance. The ECG cash waterfall mechanism is not enough to be able to rake in the revenue to be paying our IPPs. So we need that roadmap from the minister. I mean, we are advocating for the minister because we have a difficulty, so we need to solve it as a country. But just giving our support to the minister means that he should be able to come back to Ghanaians and tell us that these are the roadmap for us to be able to, do away with this legacy debt in the energy sector. And that would be an icing on the cake once he's coming in to take this money from the public. I know that discussions are ongoing between the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Finance. It's part of the financial engineering that they are going through. And it will be in the interest of all of us to get to know when actually some of these debts will go away from our books and that would mean that we need to review these take-or-pay contracts in our energy sector. We have said time and time again that currently we do not have generational shortages or shortfalls. The problem with our energy sector is liquidity to pay. And that means that let us go back and look at the various contracts that we engaged with the IPC. And if we can be able to have, conversation, negotiations or renegotiations with them to save money for the country, that will be a plus for all of us. So that will in itself help us to know when actually we'll be able to get out of the debt in the energy sector. So I believe that I would want the finance minister probably getting the support of the president to come back to us to let us know when in itself, because this is going to bring in some extra money. Just as he said, he's going to cover the 3.1 billion US dollars in terms of the energy sector. So when is it going to be in 2 years? It's going to be in 3 years. He should be able to account to us how much money that is projected as a result of this extra 1 city that is coming. Even quarterly, so that we know that this is the money that we're paying. One of the things that we need to encourage is that, yes, there's a debt service account, which is an energy sector debt account, and all these monies will have to go into it. We need to see the account and the audited account on these, inflows and outflows, so that Ghanaians will know that it is for a specific purpose. We are trying to get out of the woes of the debt in the energy sector. And I believe that would help the country a lot. So we probably will have to expect more from the Energy Ministry and then Finance Ministry to give us that roadmap, that a detailed program, a proper strategy that maybe year 1, we are going to pay this, year 2, we pay this, and by year 3, we are out. And if that needs a readjustment, that the tax can even go off. Well, that's the beauty of tax. I mean, you can bring it today, tomorrow, you can take it away, and that will help our economy.
In the circumstances, should the citizens of Ghana, a town hall meeting of a sort, be organized across the country so that people get to understand? Because there's misinformation, there's also disinformation. And then there are people who, as soon as they hear 1 CD is being charged on every liter, they take it to the markets and they run things down. Goodwill is so easy to build, and so hard to build, but so easy to be lost. What should the government be considering? Town hall meetings, or should they forget UOBR?
Oh, not at all. I mean, like you said, goodwill is also important. Currently, the government has the goodwill of the country and the people, so the government have to capitalize on it and make sure that this government would be more transparent and more accountable. Yes, I will go for that. We should be having serious engagement in the country. I mean, we shouldn't wait for the agency to come before we put papers and documents through. Once we do that, it means that, like you said, you allow people to do the disinformation and misinformation before you come back to do the damage control. The harm had already been caused. So, yes, we need those workshop town hall meetings. Finance Minister should be able to do more. I think after the budget presentation, I have not really seen continuous engagement with the public, with the media. Sometimes you need to have workshop with the media and do a lot more post-budget engagement. Currently, July is around the corner. The main budget was brought somewhere in March, April, and now you are bringing in a mid-year review. So there will be so much on you to communicate and to tell the people of Ghana. If you don't start early, there will be a lot of information for you to bring out, and that will mean that we will not be able to cover everything, and that will drive the misinformation and then disinformation. So I support continuous engagement, that the minister should really make time and then engage the various stakeholders. Civil society, media, radio discussion, social media. Let us break some of the complex issues down. They are complex, but they are very simple to understand. And once the communication goes down very well, people would understand. Ghanaians are very discerning. Yes, the minister has been praised for, half of the year trying to, get our city to the level that it has to be. It has brought some relief to household incomes. It has brought relief to families. I believe businesses are really happy about the city appreciation. The sustainability. These are things that the minister will have to engage more. So engagement, continuous engagement, bringing people along, carrying people along, so that you don't leave that vacuum or gap for people to chip in 1 or 2 things. It's very, very important. Not forgetting, minority. They are also doing their work. That is the check and balance we need in the system. But in any day, we would want to take the economy over the political discussions, because it's all the time that we can use, the economic discussions to do politics. It doesn't help us. So we in as much as we are advocating, we hasten slowly. We once we get into the hot seat, we look at things that can benefit the country in its entirety, and they remain focused to be able to achieve the bigger picture for Ghana. At the end of the day, the good news is that Ghana is no more incurring any legacy debt. Our energy sector debt has been slashed to 50%, just as we had a target with our public debt. These are the targets we want the finance minister to come back and tell us. And that will have to mean that he has to do continuous engagement. You didn't keep all the information at the ministry, and then once we are there, the surprise will come. Once he keeps disseminating it gradually, radio, TV, social media, Ghanaians will own the narrative, and they will begin to understand certain principles, or certain, directions of government, and the criticism will not come too much.
Julius Yima, thank you very much indeed for your time. He's Executive Director, Center for Policy Analyst. Thank you very much. We're grateful that you could join us, Julius. And Julius there with some thoughts.